Welcome to Divine Mass, a sacred ceremony in reverence of our inner divinity. I am Ann-Peggy Heart Divine, the medicine woman and initiator of the new era of consciousness. And with great joy and deep reverence, I invite you to this unique Divine Mass and podcast, held every Sunday. Welcome, beloved ones, to this sacred gathering of the Embodied Christhood, the journey beyond, in this Divine Mass, the 30th of Mars. Today we step beyond concepts, beyond seeking, beyond externalizing the divine. We are no longer looking for Christ as something outside of us. We are awakening to the truth that Christ is within us, as us. Up until now, in previous Divine Masses, we have explored the Christ essence through different traditions, recognizing its universal presence across cultures and spiritual paths. We have looked at how wisdom flows through different lenses, showing us that at the core, truth is one. But today we move beyond comparison. We no longer need to validate this experience by referring to external system. We stand in the knowing that Christ is here, within us, as a living presence. For so long, humanity has searched for meaning, for salvation, for guidance. We have followed teachings, scriptures, tradition, seeking wisdom in words, in symbol, in masters. But now we are called into something deeper. We are invited beyond belief and into direct experience. Christ consciousness is not a philosophy to study. It is not a doctrine to follow. It is a living frequency, a state of being that moves through you, breathes through you, and expresses itself uniquely through your life. This is not about adopting a system or identifying with a label. It is about living from the Christ awareness in each moment. When we embody Christ, we become the light in the world, not by effort, but by essence. Not by trying to become something, but by remembering what we already are. So, I invite you now to set an intention for this Divine Mass. Take a deep breath and bring your awareness into your heart. And ask yourself, what does embodied Christhood mean to me? How does it feel to live as Christ consciousness here and now? Let these questions settle within you, not as something to analyze, but as something to be revealed. To help you open to this, I will share how I experience this embodiment in my own life as something I live, breathe, and integrate into my daily existence. I have met Jesus, Yeshua, many times, as he has appeared regularly in my life since I first started witnessing him deliberately in January 2015. Before 2013, I was in denial of the spiritual world, trying hard to be a good girl according to my social identity. In the beginning, when I met Jesus, I felt embarrassed that it was him who showed up to help me. I carried the weight of my society's judgment of him, and I believed I could never reveal that Christ had guided me, that he was the one appearing in my consciousness in different situations. So even though he met me many times, I kept it sacred and told myself that I would never share my true relationship with Jesus, Joshua. Yet, here I am, revealing it anyway. Today I live from Christ consciousness, a space beyond judgment. When I met Jesus in January 2015, I was still in the depth of my dark night of the soul, where my judgmental mind still had a hold on me. All my past patterns surfaced, demanding to be transformed. And now I want to share with you the final aspect of that transformation, the moment that marked the end of my dark night of the soul. It happened at the Isugaisa festival in the northern Norway, during a guided meditation when Jesus appeared before me as my ancestor. The Isugaisa festival for me began with a guided drum journey. The context of the drum journey took place on the Finnmark plateau in harsh weather with snow, wind and cold. I was guided on the plateau where I was to meet one of my ancestors who would give me an important gift to help me on my earthly journey. It was a white inferno at the plateau, and the only thing I could see in the front of me was a fire that had been lit almost 100 meters away. In the glow from the fire, I also saw my ancestor, but since he was sitting with his back turned to me, I had no idea who the person was. Through deep, untouched snow, I made my way to the fire and the man who sat motionless with his back to me. I sat down beside him and did the same as he did, looking into the fire in a meditative state. All without words. We were both wearing many layers of clothing and were covered with large jackets and hats that hide most of our faces. I did not feel the need to see my ancestor's face, as I felt completely at peace and stillness in his presence, without words. We sat in silence next to each other, meditating towards the fire, when I was guided further to receive the gift. The instructions were that the gift could be either a physical thing, a symbol, or something else that I would need at that moment. After the instruction, the inner journey continued, with both my ancestor and me rising from the log we were sitting on. It was only when we stood on our feet that we turned towards each other and looked into each other's eyes and face. Despite having met this man many times before in inner journey, I was once again very surprised that it was exactly him who met me as my ancestor. Still no words were exchanged between us. The man who was Jesus, Joshua, bowed his head forward, while I also bowed my head so that our third eye met. In the meeting of our third eyes, I received a powerful energetical gift. Total peace of mind and tranquility. This must be said to be one of the greatest gifts I have ever received, and it triggered a deep emotional reaction of love within me. I was and am deeply grateful for the serenity and inner peace that has transformed me after the transmission from Jesus, Joshua. I have received threats and external challenges after this, but they roll off me like water off a ghost. The exhausting noise and illusion of the mind have at times been a source of frustration, sorrow, and heaviness in my body. But the noise has been silent. I have had many conversations with Jesus, Joshua, and lived with the embodiment of his presence. But in January 2023, something shifted. I said yes to going beyond Christ consciousness. I surrendered to what lay beyond, though I had no idea what that meant or how to step into it. So in the same breath as my yes, I asked for guidance. And just a couple of days later, my journey began in an unexpectedly way. I had an accident at work, one that brought intense pain and led to long-term sick leave for almost a year. In that moment, it felt like everything was being stripped away once again. I was pushed out of my routines, out of the health system I had worked in, and out of the structure that had shaped my daily life. But to go beyond, I had to step outside of any set system. I had to be pulled into my inner space, the only place where I could truly receive the upgrade I had asked for. 2023 became a year of deep initiations. 3 sacred encounters with the Divine Feminine that transformed me forever. The first happened at a cemetery as I visited my oldest child's grave. Suddenly, from nowhere, a high, radiant energy embraced me, lifting me into the presence of the Divine Feminine. I felt Mother Teresa, Mary Magdalene, and the ancient feminine force itself wrapping around me. I walked to my car next to the cemetery, sat down, and completely surrendered to this majestic energy. A week and a half later, my husband and I traveled to Gotland, Sweden. In Whitby Church, the Divine Feminine descended once again. This time, something even more profound took place. A golden crown was placed upon my head, just like the one I am wearing today. It was an anointing, a sacred welcome into the feminine existence, into the void and the creational soup from which all things arise. In that moment, I felt a glorious and majestic invitation to step into the beyond, into the next level of my soul's journey. Then, a month later, my husband and I traveled to Glastonbury, England. At the end of our journey, something extraordinary happened. My dear friend Santari sang my new feminine essence into being. It was not an ordinary song, it was a source song, a vibration of my truest essence, a melody unlike any other, one that transcended sound itself and resonated directly with the core of my being. As the first notes reverberated through the room, a radiant light emerged, not from a single point, but from everywhere at once. It surrounded me, pierced through me, and embraced me in its warmth. This was no ordinary light. It was alive, conscious, and all-encompassing. It shone with a brilliance so pure that it dissolved the very boundary of time and space. Then I felt it, a gentle yet irresistible embrace. The light carried me, placed me inside a sarcophagus. At that time, I had no knowledge of what a sarcophagus symbolized. I had never studied its spiritual significance. Yet I knew instinctively that it held a deeper purpose. As I lay within its sacred form, I felt as though I was merging with a forgotten truth, a forgotten part of myself. The sarcophagus was not a tomb, it was a womb, a cradle of transformation, a space where death and rebirth merge as one. Inside, I was more than myself. I was all-knowing, connected to infinite wisdom, infinite love, and infinite creation. It was as if the entire universe had folded itself into me, revealing the ultimate truth. I was and have always been a divine emanation of Source. This was the moment of true integration. The masculine and feminine within me merged into perfect harmony. The duality that had once defined me dissolved, and I became whole. The sarcophagus which had held me in transformation had now become the vessel of my rebirth. I emerged not as who I had been, but as who I was always meant to be. Ann-Peggy, Hjerte, Divine. A name that carries the vibration of my integrated essence, my divine mission, and my source-aligned creation. And now, having shared my journey of going beyond embodied Christhood, we now turn our focus inward, to the sacred energy of this gathering. In this space of presence, we will enter the light mantra, a simple yet profound invocation that opens our hearts to the presence of embodied Christhood and the journey beyond. Following this, we will affirm together the Divine Mass Manifesto, a declaration of unity, love, and awakening that serves as our guiding light today. These words are not merely spoken. They are meant to be felt, lived, and embodied. As we align with this sacred intention, we open ourselves to receive the embodied Christhood within and around us, and welcoming our special guest, Colin Whitby, as we explore the deeper meaning of the journey beyond. Light Mantra for Divine Mass. I am the light that shines in the darkness. I am one with all that is. Light from Source flow through me. I am a channel for love and peace. May the light in me grow, and may the light in all of us shine brightly. Light from the universe, embrace me now. I open myself to the love, wisdom, and the truth that had always been within. I am the light. I carry the light. I share the light. May the light in me grow, and may the light in all of us shine brightly. Amen. Manifest of light for divine design. We believe in the divine essence, present in all living beings, a source of light, love, and creation to which we are all connected. We acknowledge our common origin in the Source, where each soul carries the seed of light and wisdom, projected into physical form to experience and evolve through life. We confess that each of us, regardless of background, culture, or belief, is an expression of the cosmic diversity, where our unique existence contributes to the wholeness of the divine design. We believe in agape, the unconditional love that connects us to each other and to the universe. This love guides us to live in harmony with ourselves, our fellow beings, and all life. We confess that through our free will, we can activate and express our highest essence, and that we are created to live in balance between the masculine and feminine, between spirit and matter, between heaven and earth. We believe in the universal law that governs both our inner and outer universe, guiding us to understand our own power and our own role in the greater cosmic unity. We acknowledge that we are all multidimensional beings, bearer of divine light, and that we are here to experience, learn, and contribute to the collective good through our divine design. Namaste. Welcome, Colin, to this Embodied Christhood, a journey beyond.
Yeah. It's an amazing energy when we meet in this space, for sure.
Yeah, the divine force has kind of put us together. And what was common in each time we met, the Christ energy came and it opened our heart and we teared up. It's like, wow, the Christ energy is here every time we meet. So this was kind of the common thing that happened every time. But now we have moved beyond and because we have embodied the Christ energy, and then we have kind of revealed a new universe, kind of.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? The way that we've used, I think, names that we're familiar with to describe the energy that we're becoming, or we are, and we use that to sort of accommodate the new. So we find a common theme, like Jesus, and then I was describing how Sananda flows from there, because that's another aspect of that divine flow. But then we've been discovering that it's actually all about the love that embodying that energy enables us to then do, or to realize that we're more than, so that the omnidimensional part of us that exists everywhere. There's other parts of us that have a journey that requires this human to be in this place. And I think that's what we're mutually discovering. Different things are happening, that parts of us want to be expressed in the now, and they want to be expressed through both of us as we're talking. So as we talk it, more of it comes through, doesn't it? More of whatever that is. And so we were actually talking the other week about part of me came in and fired up all the pyramids.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, why did he do that? I'm not sure. Why the pyramids? Well, I guess part of me does that.
Yeah.
And then you've just described an amazing connection that you've discovered of yourself through the Egyptian connection.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating, because the way that I've experienced the Egyptian connection was through a deity called Thoth, which I hadn't heard of before. But when I was doing a journey with one of my friends, she said, "Oh, there's Thoth," and it turns out that I have that energy connection.
Yeah.
And when I was looking at what does he do,
Yeah.
What's his role? Why am I interested? Why is that part of me? Then I discovered that the way that I would read a parchment or something, or even the hieroglyphs on a wall, I would open a book, and then I just run my hands over the. You see now, I don't know if you feel that.
Yeah, I feel it.
I'm reading something. Look, I've got an empty hand, and I'm telling you about a book that I'm reading in Egypt somewhere, and I'm running my hands over it, and the energy flowing through me just, it's like, yeah, how does that work? So this Thoth, Lee, reads these hieroglyphs, and what I feel is that I'm drawing wisdom. But I'm not just drawing wisdom. These are, I think you were describing earlier. These are the mathematical sacred geometry enablers. I can call them enablers at the moment. They're peeling out of this book, and they're flowing into me,
Yeah.
and then I'm flowing them out.
Yeah.
I'm the transmitter. But well, one of the things that I've been conscious of is that no one, not anyone, can turn up and do this. Now, I'm not saying I'm particularly special, but what I'm saying is that you have to be in this place. You have
Yeah.
to be you have to be in your divine self has to be expressing through you, and you
Yes.
have to be um, almost like not here, not consciously taking part, because there's something bigger than us taking place here. There's something much more significant than our human self can comprehend.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing that and I'm talking to you about it, you feel it,
Yeah, I
and yet
feel it.
how does that work? So I'm that book. I've no idea what that book says or what it's for, but what I do know is that when I do that, I'm bringing forth something that's enabling the new to manifest in us, and then for us to manifest the new, because we're reconfigured. We in some way our DNA has changed. Our hearts are more open. We're more free to express this in a way. So I'm more than happy to enjoy the story that I'm it sounds like, oh yeah, well, yeah, that's another one of Colin's identities that he's, talking about. And I think, yeah, but really, you've got to be in this body and experience that energy
Yeah.
to before you actually, think, oh well, he's not really here, is he? That Colin, he's a bit.
Yeah, and you have now the foundation because we are holding the foundation, the Christ consciousness and the love, and through that, the multidimensionality of us are expanding. And when you talk about thought, and because what I did, I said to you, I except birthing 5 children, that's the biggest thing I have experienced because it's very, yeah, it's a big thing. The ceremony I had 13th of March changed my life, even though I live with this, but what came through me this Thursday, and I had never gone into Egyptian wisdom or what the feminine society hold. And when I think it's difficult to pronounce her, Heather,
Hathor.
Hathor.
Yeah.
First, I saw her as from the outside. I saw her dance and the music, and she moved and all the femininity. So I watched her like we do, like the old thing. And then she took over my body, and I was her. And that was wow. And this is what the next level of us, because we have watched it outside, but now we are bringing it inside. We feel it, we experience it. And a lot of things happen, but after a while, more than thousands lullaby to the future children came through me, their soul essence, and it's a wow, and it was so emotional, and I cried because, and the lullaby was so a safe song. It's like you are safe, you are light, you are a beautiful divine being. So it was, all these divine soul essence lullabies that we will prime our children in the future. And also we will sing these songs in the school system, and we build up reverence for life and reverence and respect for each other. And then after the 13th of March, a portal has opened in me. Heather worked through me now. Because, yeah, actually, the first thing that happened, and I think I was asked 5 times, do you say yes? And I say, yes. Are you sure you say yes? Yes. And then the big key came in. Oh, I cannot take this big key. But it is a yes. A yes to go into what Jesus said, that what I can do, you can do, and much more. We are now in the much more, because both of us are embodying the Christhood. And when we embody the Christhood, what is possible? What we are talking about, and both of us are lead it back to Egypt wisdom, and you the masculine and me the feminine. And I think it's so interesting because we are holding something, and as she showed me the new word language, the symbols that resonate, and you say, I can read it with my hand, you feel it. Yeah, so you are explaining with your words and your understanding about this symbolic language of the future, and how you read it, how you interpret it, and how you just can, yeah, because when we have met up, it's like, wow, I feel the whole world in my hands, and you are saying it in your way. And so we are into the new future, the new system, and it is totally 360-degree shift. It has nothing, you cannot compare it in no way, because it is an experience. As you say, you have to feel the experience, you have to become it. So the word embodiment is so important.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the willingness to step forward and say yes. I mean, very often that's my default setting, if you like. So when I'm it, on an omnidimensional journey, typically something will come up like you've described.
Yeah.
And I do you want because the number of times I've gone through doorways with keys. Here's a key. Oh yeah. Well, do you want to go through the doorway? Yeah. Okay. Well, you don't know what's through the doorway. You still want to go through the doorway?
Yeah.
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 Unlock, open. Oh.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, is the willingness to be open to whatever then happens.
Yeah, because you're speaking about the unknown. Are we willing to go into the unknown? Because a lot of people are afraid of the unknown.
Yeah, I think, but to be fair to those parts of us who are asking us that question, they know exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
The invitation wouldn't put our human selves at risk. They're just looking for a vehicle. Are you open? Is this something that you're willing to have happen to you in your life? And I often say to them, well, look, yeah, I'm kind of busy here at the moment. I'm looking after 24/7, looking after my wife, and she hasn't been well lately. Don't worry about that. Just, do you want to step in? It's like, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, you come along and you're just doing all your own, this lovely divine mass and stuff, and it's giving me an opportunity to talk about it
Yeah.
in the context of this life I'm living,
Yeah.
which is I find fascinating, the way that the divine will find a way.
Yeah.
It finds its expression through you, and it'll find the person that you need to talk to, and it'll put them in your field, and it's up to you then to say, okay, well, yeah, all right, yeah, okay, I'll see. We'll explore that together. Why don't we? And I think that, again, that's the fascination of being in the divine, is how much that moves in us, how we are, I don't know, presenting ourselves, in the world, it changes. The
Yeah.
world itself is changing because we are in it in this way.
Yeah. And we are held, and we are so much held and so much supported.
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, however you describe them, the beings that are around us, angels, archangels, or whatever, alien, whatever those descriptors you are comfortable with,
Yeah.
they're just waiting.
Yeah.
They're just here waiting to be asked to help. So yes, please, I'll have some of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is the willingness to say yes
Mm.
and to go totally out of our mind, because that's the hardest. We have to go out of our mind, and we have to live through our heart, because all the
Yeah.
time we are lined up, it's like, wow, the feel is so strong, and we feel it in our chest and tears, and it's like, wow. So it,
Yeah.
and it's not so far since we met, and I get the intuition that you need to contact Colin, and I contacted, and you said yes.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm always fascinated. I think it was, I don't know how many years ago, when I first was contacted by Selena in a very similar way. We were on a course together, um, and she said, "Oh, hang on a minute, he's got something I'm interested to talk about." And it was another one of those, somebody spotting something in me
Yeah.
that I hadn't probably noticed yet, or I had, but what to do with it. And I think we're at the stage now where we're getting more and more intuitive about um, where these conversations can lead.
Yeah.
And I think it's something very significant in that we're part of a team. My belief is we're not just human. Our team assembled in a particular way and designed this so that we would meet and talk about this in this moment because we knew that we'd both be ready,
Yeah.
we'd both be in exactly the right situation,
Yep.
and so it was no mistake that we were both on the same Zoom calls together, and there's no, and it's just interesting the way it all unfolds, and I'm happy that it's that's what's happening. It,
Yeah.
it's
And I remember you said that because I, in this community you was in, brought up Christ consciousness several times, because we normally don't speak about it, but that was what came through me several times. And then you said, why this happened to me too, and this was kind of, so every time we lined up, the Christ consciousness came. So we
Yeah.
have made a platform because, okay, this is the embodied Christhood. But it is not the Christianity as we have learned or as we have been taught. It is a being. It is the no judgmental. It is the, as you'd say, the eternal love, the unconditional love from this
Mm.
space and further.
Yeah. Yeah, and every time we talk it grows in us, doesn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just mentioning the word brings a flood of that energy through us.
Yeah.
I can feel it. So I think it's an it's a word that can mean many things to many people, and quite often I think it means something that you have only in perhaps a relationship. And then when you've got it in a relationship, it has to have restrictions because you can't go around loving this person here at the same time as this person here. It becomes very personal, and it is difficult then to express this
Yeah.
in the unconditional way that it almost demands. It needs freedom. It needs no boundaries. It has no boundaries. So
Yeah.
so the fact that we're in like loving relationships with partners,
Yeah.
that's irrelevant because
Yes.
this wants to be expressed through us in this moment,
Yes.
and it's entirely different. It doesn't attach to the personal at all. It's free,
Yeah.
and I think that's the key. That's the key is to separate the meanings we have for things, like you say, the Christ and the Christianity. strip away that,
Yep.
and just mean that you're describing this divine essence that Christ was talking about, that Jesus was talking about, and everything he was saying was, you can be this, you are this.
Yeah.
And he was trying to say, we can all do this. This is us.
Yep.
It's our natural birthright.
Yep.
So I think I get choked up with it sometimes. It really is really emotional.
Yeah.
Really, because I guess I'm unlocking it in myself. Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you said that. Yes, because both of us have partners, and my partner know that I'm talking to you, and so it is this, because then we are going into the small minded. Okay, you are talking to another man. It's like the small minded. It's like, okay, you have to honor your sacred partnership, but this is partnership on another level. It is not the partnership that we have created on earth that is restricted and bounded. This is the unconditional love that it's beyond personality.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And it expresses freely. Once you've stepped into into this space, it will express itself.
Yeah.
So we don't have to actually say, loving things to one another. All we need to be is in this flow and
Yes.
describe it, and it happens anyway.
Yes.
It can't help itself but express in this way through us.
Yeah.
And it's an entirely different mechanism than we've experienced in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's different channel. It's using different channels. It's using different energies, but the sensation is similar to what we would describe as romantic love. But it's different, absolutely, totally different in the way that it flows.
Yeah.
And I think it helps us express
Yeah.
more freely, and also then connects us to some other aspects of ourselves, as we've been discovering.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We actually are these amazing other beings who have these capacities
Yeah.
of I would say almost like creative. There's a scientific component to the creative in that the way that I understand Thoth. He has a very deep mathematical background,
Yeah.
understands how
Yeah.
using shapes and geometries, how the reality is shaped.
Yeah.
And he understands. I mean, one of my things, I think you've seen, one of my things is spheres. I hold spheres and I use spheres.
Yeah.
How do I do that? Which part of me does that? Well, that's never part of the Christ teachings, was it? He runs around with it. So there's something else. There's another part of me that uses spheres, and I think it's this Egyptian connection
Yeah. It is.
where our ancestors um, used to build worlds.
Yep.
Still do probably, because
Yep.
I mean, no who's to say they've stopped. And we use these geometries, we use these shapes and energies that are, and like you say, the sounds that these lullabies that you were describing.
Yeah.
We're engineering
Yeah.
in a way, but we can only do that from this divine space where we acknowledge our divinity first.
Yes.
We are in the flow,
Yep.
and then we can do this.
Yeah.
So it can never be used for I was going to say evil. That's not a good word to use in this context, but it can never be used against humanity or against creation. It sits in this divine love flow,
Yep.
and everything that flows out from it
Yep.
has this deep compassion for life, for creation, the creation it's serving.
Yeah.
And I think it is a service too. I don't think, for me, I didn't know that's what I did. I don't go around, hey guys, I'm a creator. It's something. It's a gift, and I think there's a modesty associated with it when you talk about it. It's
Yeah.
not. I've never really felt comfortable about we was talking about when we're carrying the Christ energy and calling myself Jesus, because I felt as if I was.
Yeah, 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 we do.
I just felt, I am, and I could feel it. I could feel
Yeah,
it now as I'm talking it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but I don't feel actually comfortable putting that name in front of mine, for example, like changing my name or anything like that, because uh, I guess it's just, yeah, there's a big step, but also there's that, like we were saying, there's that sort of, but aren't you also Thoth? Aren't you also, and you could insert any number of different names
Yeah,
that come to mind because I've done so many journeys with various people that different aspects of myself keep revealing themselves. So I'm also a creator of intelligent ships, sentient spaceships.
yeah,
How do I do that? No idea, but I do know because when I sit in one, I can imagine one. I'm sitting in it, and again, like there we are, the energy of the pilot creator of that environment, that ship, suddenly fills me. So there I am. That's what I've just done. So I can shift the fascinating thing about the way that we are operating now is that I feel we can shift our conscious um, connection
yeah,
to another aspect of ourselves just with a quick, switch. Okay, now I'm talking about Thoth, and this is what we do, and that energy is flowing. Now I'm talking about when I make sentient spaceships, boom, that energy is flowing, and it suggests that it's not just my imagination. The fact that we're tapping into these energies and we feel them in our bodies, and it's as real as we can possibly imagine. It's not you're not making this up. Um, and when I talk to somebody else like yourself, and it comes back to me, and I see you feeling it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like it is real,
It is real.
and I'm not imagining this.
No, and
So
what we are talking about, this is the new system. I have said yes to paint a picture of the new future, of the new system. It is a feminine society when we are connected, and what you are describing, you bring different energy through you, and you feel and sense, and it is not just, it's not in your head. Some would say, oh, it's just in your head. No, we feel it in all our body. So this is the next step evolution. So we feel it, and this is what we are going against.
yeah,
But it is the free will. We have a choice. Do we want to step up to the divine creation, the divine embodiment, and go further than Christ show us? Or do we want to play the small us as we have done for thousands of years? So it's an invitation to step up, but it is us to say yes. And the hardest thing is to go into the unknown and into the light, because we are so adjust to the darkness, because we can control it. When you go into the unknown, there is no control. You just have
no.
to go with the divine flow.
I think that's the key thing, is
Yep.
that the stepping into it means that you literally have to give yourself
Yes.
completely. There's no half-hearted component. This is a total yes, yes, I will.
Total surrender. Total
And
yes.
and I think a lot of people find at that point that there might be something preventing that. There might be an emotional blockage, or there
Yep.
might be something. Um, what I'm finding, and I think with a number of people are experiencing this as well, they're finding that the traditional ways of releasing those blocks are also changing, so that all of the sort of taught methodologies of let's go and find that dark energy, let's go and analyze those emotions, etc., we appear now to be in a place where we can just allow it to go. And because we are present in this space, we can see that in someone else.
Yep.
Um, Together, we can allow it to release with almost. no ceremony. It's
Yeah,
almost like it just goes
yeah,
because we intend it so,
yeah,
and they are prepared to let it go. Obviously, because some
yeah, yeah,
people are attached to their patterns. But when we reach this place, my feeling is that people wouldn't even be talking to us if they weren't ready. Same as when we started talking, immediately there was a connection because we were both in the place where that was intended to happen. And
yes,
I think people come to us now and they'll be in that place and they'll be ready. And
yep,
there's going to be a miraculous component to this now
yep,
where people just open,
yep,
like that key you were given.
yeah.
You know, they're just you can unlock it in them
Yep.
with their permission, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. That's important with them because I have said I will never go into others' field. I did it before, but I didn't know that this was my gift, so I did it unconsciously, and that made me sick because I felt everything they carried. So
Yeah.
now I don't go into that before they say you are allowed to step into me, and then I go and wow, I love healing people and connecting because the energy they hold, and I go into their bigness. It brings tears to my eyes because what the gifts we have, the gifts we hold, wow. And in the beginning I thought it was just my essence that brought it to them, but I go into their essence and then connect with them, and it's so different from person to person, so different.
And I think that's because you're at this new level now, and your capacity to see past all the other things and see their
Yes,
their divine. It is a gift, for sure. Um, and I think the what it'll mean is that our ability to pass this gift on has also amplified,
yep,
and so it's a lot easier. We don't have to sometimes even verbalize quite so much. We don't need a complex arrangement of you know courses or whatever it is to describe it. All we need is to be able to have something that attracts people to us,
yep,
and then we can um, gift them that opening.
yep,
And I have noticed that it sometimes veers off to what I was expecting. I must admit, sometimes I look and I think, well, that's it. They're stepping in, and then they veer off over there, and it's because they're needing to experience whatever it was that they have. Um, their human component still needs to experience something.
yep,
So sometimes I think, oh, that didn't go the way I expected,
yep.
but that's just my human point of view. Obviously,
I go with that also. And I had a client yesterday that I saw something bigger, but she said no, no. And I think I said to it 8 times just to invite her, but no, no. And it's like, okay, then I really tried. So I don't force it, but I invited, and no, no. But then it was okay, time will, it's not her time. This is okay for now.
mm, yeah,
So,
I
yeah,
think that it's always not ours to own it. It's just ours to be present and offer the choice,
yes,
and their soul will have asked them to be offered the choice, and then it's up to them whether they take or don't. And some people just aren't ready. It's not a problem. That's just the way it is.
yeah,
But I think many are. No, I think many more are. And I think the more of us who step into this, the easier it's becoming for people to step up
yeah,
because there's a raising in overall. I won't call it necessarily consciousness. I think it's just divine awareness that there's something. I know that we do try and relate it to consciousness a lot, and I think it is because we consciously connect to these things, and then there's the power. So I think our consciousness is more of a like a tuner on an old-fashioned radio. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Our consciousness is that um, we then skew across the bandwidths, and oh, there we are. That's part of me that I need to be talking about now. Boom, there it comes through um, as if like a channel. We call it channeling, don't we? So it's interesting.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing I'm always, I would say, playing with, but it is a bit of a game, isn't it?
Yeah, we have to explore it. We have to find out.
Yeah. So you're looking at the various waves and coming through, and then there's a point there. I think I'll go there today, and fascinated to see what's going to happen as a result of having done that. And the last time I did something like that, really quite significant, these conversations started happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay, that's interesting. So I've obviously gone through some new, I say barrier, but a new unfoldment. Something's happened that significantly changed, like you just described your last Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Extremely significant.
Yeah, we hold light codes, so the light codes come through us. So the more of us that stepping us, because it was also shown that it is a lot of people doing it, and we need to collaborate because a lot of us have said yes to the new system. So you are holding a piece, you hold a masculine, I hold a feminine, and both of us have a lot of relationship to Egypt, even though before this ceremony I had no idea how deep this Egypt's wisdom. But you have spoken about these pyramids, and I say, well, I feel like being in the pyramids when I'm here in this place because the energy lines, the ley lines are so strong. And it was shown me actually in this ceremony that the ley lines here are the same as in Egypt. So they are the same. So that is helpful because then we come in heart coherence. And when you are in heart coherence, this is also a aspect of embodied Christhood because then you are aligned to your divine source.
Yeah.
So it is kind of all aspect and all dimension is connecting, and then we meet. We will attract the people that hold another piece of this.
I'm sure, definitely. Yeah, and just getting it out there, like you're doing, is how that will occur as well.
Yeah.
And it won't be by chance. Somebody will look at it and think, "Hang on a minute, I've got a piece of that jigsaw."
Yeah.
Or they'll suddenly feel it in themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
They will feel. They will sense it. So, and it's no coincidence that we met. No coincidence.
No, not at all. And it's refreshing in the way that it doesn't have boundaries, so we're able to talk it without worrying about stuff,
Yes. Yes.
which is the only way to let it through now, I think. I think some of the earlier times when I've experienced these energies, the relationships, almost like it felt too personal for one or other of there's always two, but one felt uncomfortable with it being that personal and had to withdraw. So I'm sorry, I'm married. And you think, well, yeah, that's okay. It's not that. That's not what this is.
No.
This isn't romantic love. This is divine love, and it expresses in a completely
Totally.
different.
Yeah. So that's the 360 degrees because we cannot compare it with the old way of living. No. It's we have love for everyone because we see all people as brothers and sisters.
That's it. Yeah.
So
well, that's that. You spoke to Mary in the week, didn't you? And
yeah.
she and I call ourselves a brother and sister.
Yeah.
Because that's how our relationship works.
Yep.
And she's happy with that terminology, and that works for me.
Yeah, she's my sister as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, this is how these things occur, isn't it?
Yeah.
How they connect with one another. And she's actually thought it might be fun for the three of us to talk.
Yes.
Sometime.
Yes, because all of us, and also Tara, she's also holding a piece. I was like, wow, I'm so amazed. So yes, we go by the resonance. So it is the new life is going by resonance, and all of us in this resonance holds a piece. So, and I, because I haven't gone so deep into the Egyptian wisdom, I have now experienced it on my body. I have felt it. So I go the opposite way than normal, because normal it's like studying, reading, and seeing it from the outside. But I experienced it, and then I really, when I feel that I have embodied enough, then I try to Google, does what I experience match what I can read about it? And when I did this a couple of days ago, after 4 days in it, it's like, wow, yeah. And Ra, because Ra was showing me, yeah, actually, I can show this as a symbol of what we can do, because I became a flower. All humans are flower, but most of our flower is like this. We have locked our kind of the sun in us, so we are, the bloom is like closing. But then as I was this flower, I was opening and opening and opening more to Ra and the sun, central sun. And then as I bloomed totally, then I was Ra, then I was the sun. And it was such a good symbol and metaphor for yes. So if we just surrender and open our bloom, it's like then we become the central sun, the Ra, the everything we want to experience. And that was kind of, this is as big as it can be. This is the source of everything.
It's interesting, the Ra element. I don't know if I've sent you. I showed you my portrait, didn't I? The one that Mary painted.
Yeah.
On there there's three corners of that are depicting the energies of water, air, earth, and fire.
Yeah.
And the what I was getting when we were she was preparing for that, was that these are components that have specific names. So in the teachings I was being given as well, they were given a notation, but I was getting N. So there would be N, Ka, Ra, and Ah. Right. So the Ra was the fire,
Ah.
and
Yeah.
the Ah is spirit divine. Now, when I was exploring the name for Jesus in the Hebrew, and that came through on that recording that I was describing when I was being trained on Reiki, is that there's a Ra in there. There's an Ah, AH in there as well when you look at the Hebrew symbols, and that Ah is the divine. Ra Ah is one of the names that I took on, if you like, when Mary did that portrait. That was my soul portrait done in I don't know, a while ago now. So these are interesting sort of threads, aren't they? How these threads are being woven in together, because there's definitely a big involvement of the Ra energy in me as well,
Yeah.
because of the connections that I've been discovering over time.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. I
And
love I, I love the weave.
yeah. And also, you were describing the element that was also showing me in this ceremony. This is the alchemical soup that we create from. So this is the element and the ether that holds these five elements. Kind of, this is the alchemy of Mother Earth, and we have to learn how to use it. And also, when we bring in the divine component of us, wow, then we take it to another level. So this is the next level of embodied Christhood.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
Wow. Wow, Colin, thank you for this amazing conversation about beyond.
Yeah. I think it just opens up, doesn't it? So if you step into the Christ consciousness, your divine essence, whatever that, it opens doors that you actually, your brain wouldn't have even comprehended, contemplated even. So yeah, I think it's a fascinating. I have to say that there's also a joyful expression of this
Yeah, it is.
when we're talking and when it's expressing through us. the act of sharing this energy is really, really joyful, and there's a delight in opening it up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, when we say that, I just have also to say that it's not just talking to you from a mental concept that we have done for years. It is a being, because I feel it in all my body talking to you. My whole body is resonating. So it's like it is an experience. It's not just a conversation. It is an experience, an embodiment.
Yeah, definitely. And that part of us wants us to experience this.
Yeah.
That part of us wants us to be here now, and express through us. And I think, and that's where the joy is coming in, because that part of us is absolutely over, totally here and experiencing through us.
Yeah.
And overjoyed, absolutely, sparkling with, it's buzzing, isn't it? So I love that. I absolutely love that. And I would love to be able to express that every minute of my day. I'd love to be in this every single moment. And I don't think that's far away, to be honest. I don't think that's very far.
We are now showing what the future children will live with. So we have, we are embodying more and more, so that our future self, because we will incarnate again, and this is what we are going against.
Definitely, yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Colin.
Yeah, thank you.
As we come towards the closing of this Divine Mass, we now shift from words to direct experience. This journey has been one of remembrance, of unity, of embodied Christhood, and of stepping beyond into the unknown. Now, rather than just reflecting on these truths, we will open ourselves to feel them, embody them, and become them. To guide us into the next dimension of experience, I invite you into a sacred meditation, Christ beyond form, into grace, source, and the multidimensional self. This is not merely a meditation, it is an activation, a journey beyond form, beyond identity, beyond limitation, into the vastness of grace, the essence of source, and the full presence of your multi-dimensional self. I invite you now to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and open your heart as we step beyond together. Christ beyond form, into grace, source, and the multidimensional self. Take a deep breath, soften your body, and close your eyes. Let yourself surrender into the infinite presence. Breathe in deeply and exhale, releasing all tension. Feel yourself becoming weightless, as if the air around you is holding you effortlessly. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go. You are simply here, now, in presence. Feel your breath slowing down, as if time itself is dissolving. Your thoughts begin to fade into the background, like whispers carried away by the wind. Now, bring your awareness to your heart. Feel the vast space within you. It is not just a physical heart. It is a portal, a gateway, the doorway to Source. As you breathe, the space within your heart begins to expand, open, soften. Now imagine a radiant light descending upon you from above. It is not a light you see with your eyes, but a presence you feel with your entire being. It is limitless, eternal, formless, pure grace. This is the Christ light, not as a figure, not as a belief, but as the infinite love that you are. It is you. It has always been you. Feel this light pouring into your heart now, filling you with warmth, dissolving all illusions of separation. There is no need to reach for it. It is already here. You are being held inside it. Let this light soften your identity. Who you think you are dissolving. Who you have been dissolving. Your name, your story, your past, your future, dissolving. Until only presence remains. Until only I am remains. As you surrender deeper, feel yourself expanding beyond the body, beyond time, beyond space. You are now in the field, the grace field, the source of all that is. A space of pure existence, pure love, pure creation. You are not observing it. You are it. Breathe into this. Let yourself be absorbed into grace. Let yourself remember the infinite self. What does it feel like to be limitless? What does it feel like to be pure light? What does it feel like to be one with all things? Let yourself be completely free. Now, feel yourself choosing to return into form, but not as the person you were, not as the conditioned mind, not as limitation. You return as the Christed self, as the living embodiment of Source, as a being who walks the earth but is not bound by it. Feel this new vibration anchoring in your body. Feel yourselves recalibrating to this divine frequency. Feel your heart becoming a bridge between heaven and earth. You are the bridge. You are both infinite and present. You are both human and divine. You are Christ beyond form. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back into your body. Feel your fingers, your toes. Feel the breath moving through you. But something has changed. Something has awakened. You are no longer just in the world. You are creating it. When you open your eyes, you will not be the same. You will see through new eyes. You will hear through new ears. You will walk through life as the embodied Christ. Take one more deep breath, and when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. You were never separate. You were never small. You were always the light. Now, go and shine it. As we now return to the depth of this journey, we open ourselves to receive the final blessing of this gathering. We will now step into the Divine Mass Healing and Blessing Prayer, a sacred transmission of love, grace, and divine presence. This is a moment to surrender, to receive, and to allow the light of Source to integrate fully within us. Following this, we will close our Divine Mass with the song North by Trine Strand, a melody that carries the vibration of homecoming, remembrance, and divine connection. Before we part, I invite you to join us for our next Sunday Divine Mass on April 6th, where we will come together for a memorial Mass, a sacred space dedicated to honoring and remembering all our departed loved ones. Thank you for your presence, your light, and your open heart. May the blessings of this gathering continue to unfold within you as you walk forward on your journey beyond. From the divine in me to the divine in you. Blessing from Divine Design. May your heart be filled with light, clarity, and peace, so that you may be a source of love for yourself and all around you. May the wisdom within guide you forward, granting you the courage to create goodness each and every day. May you stand firm in your truth and your light, finding strength in knowing you are part of something greater, a tapestry of beauty, belonging, and purpose. Let your path be illuminated by the joy of service, and let your love inspire wholeness and peace, for you are both the creator and a part of this heaven on earth. May you embrace the divine in yourself and in all others, living with open hands, an open mind, and an open heart. Let this day and every day that follows be an opportunity to manifest love, wisdom, and joy, so that the world may be transformed through your presence. Amen.
Her kan jeg lande, bare være med. Dele tankene med nordlyset, være sammen med deg. Her finner jeg feste. Havet sang min vuggesang. Her finner jeg min ro. Fjellene Eller tankene